Welcome to a world carved not by chance, but by vision, by power, by faith, and by the unimaginable persistence of human hands. Today, we journey across continents and across centuries to explore 7 of the most unreal rock sculptures ever created. These are monuments that defy geology, challenge imagination, and hold mysteries that scholars still debate. Some were carved to honor kings, others to immortalize gods, and a few remain so enigmatic that their true purpose has never been confirmed. So pack your curiosity and tighten your grip on reality, because these sculptures are about to redefine what you thought ancient humans were capable of. Number 7. The Rock Sculpture of Dispalis, Romania. Rising dramatically above the Danube River, a colossal face emerges from the raw mountainside, a stone guardian staring across the border of Romania and Serbia. This is the rock sculpture of Dispalis, Europe's tallest rock relief and one of the most astonishing carvings of the modern world. At 55 meters high and 25 meters wide, it is larger than many ancient monuments, yet it was completed just a few decades ago. The sculpture depicts Dispalis, the last king of Dacia, a warrior who resisted the full might of the Roman Empire. His battles were legendary, his resistance iconic, and his death, by his own hand to avoid capture, turned him into a symbol of national pride. What makes this sculpture unreal is not just its size. It is the sheer difficulty of the task. For 10 years, groups of climbers and stone carvers dangled from the vertical face of the cliff, using explosives, cables, and handheld tools to slowly etch the king's expression into the mountain. Every inch required precision, every stroke was made under dangerous conditions, and every detail, from the deep-set eyes to the sharp, defiant beard, was shaped in a place where one slip could mean a fatal fall. Below the sculpture, a Latin inscription reads, Dis Belus Rex Dragon Facit, King Dispalis made by Dragon, acknowledging the businessman who funded the project. But make no mistake, this is a monument that feels ancient, fierce, and larger than life. A modern masterpiece, carved with ancient ambition. Number 6. Mount Rushmore, United States. Driving through the Black Hills of South Dakota, the granite peaks suddenly shift from natural formations into 4 familiar faces. Towering 18 meters high each, the heads of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln stare out across the plains, carved with a scale so massive that it rewrote American stonework forever. Mount Rushmore is more than a sculpture, it is a mountain reshaped by human vision. Its creation required 400 workers, 14 years of blasting, drilling, chiseling, and climbing. 90% of the mountain's transformation was done with dynamite, precisely controlled explosions that removed hundreds of thousands of tons of granite. After that, artisans using jackhammers and handheld tools worked inch by inch to define eyes, noses, lips, and the subtle contours of expression. What makes Mount Rushmore so unreal is the near-impossible combination of engineering and artistry. Carving fine facial detail at such a massive scale demands perfect mathematical planning. A shift of just a few centimeters on one portion of the mountain could distort an entire face. Yet somehow, the artists achieved not only accuracy, but iconic presence. The monument's creators once planned to carve the presidents from the waist up, but funding ran out. Even so, the result stands as one of the largest and most recognizable rock sculptures in the world. A national symbol, an engineering marvel, and a reminder of how powerful vision can be when it becomes carved into stone. Number 5. The Moai Statues, Easter Island. Over 2,000 miles from the nearest population center lies one of the most mysterious islands on Earth. Here, on Easter Island, hundreds of gigantic stone figures stand silently facing inland, massive guardians carved by the Rapa Nui civilization. These are the Moai statues, towering monoliths whose origins and meaning continue to fascinate archaeologists. Each Moai can weigh between 10 and 90 tons. Some stand more than 30 feet tall. All were carved from volcanic rock at a quarry called Rano Rariku, then somehow moved miles across the island to their final platforms. But how? That question has sparked theories ranging from rolling logs to elaborate rope walking techniques. Some researchers even suggest the statues were walked upright in a coordinated rocking motion, an idea supported by oral traditions. But the true wonder of the Moai lies not only in their size but in their artistry. Their elongated faces, deep eye sockets, long noses, and majestic presence evoke both authority and spiritual power. Many once had coral eyes placed into their sockets, creating a piercing gaze believed to channel ancestral energy. Others wore carved stone topknots called pukao, adding tons of extra weight balanced perfectly on their heads. The moai represent chiefs, ancestors, and leaders, figures believed to protect the island and bring prosperity. Yet sometime around the 1600s, the carving stopped. Many statues were left unfinished. Tools were abandoned, some toppled during periods of conflict or environmental collapse. And still, the moai remain, staring inland, watching over a land that once held one of the world's most extraordinary carving cultures. Number 4. Petra, the rock-cut city of Jordan. Hidden behind a narrow canyon called the Siq lies a city carved entirely from living rock. Petra, the ancient Nabatean capital, is one of humanity's most unbelievable achievements, a metropolis sculpted from rose-red cliffs more than 2,000 years ago. As you emerge from the dark passageway of the Siq, the first structure comes into view, the treasury, known as Al-Khazna. Its facade stands nearly 40 meters tall, intricately carved with columns, pediments, statues, and decorative flourishes, all chiseled directly from a single slab of sandstone cliff. No bricks, no blocks, just pure stone transformed into architecture. But Petra is much more than the treasury. The city includes tombs, temples, altars, theaters, and entire residential complexes carved with mathematical precision. Even the water channels, built to control flash floods and irrigate the city, were carved directly into the rock faces, an engineering feat that allowed Petra to thrive in desert conditions. The scale is enormous, the details meticulous, and the survival remarkable. The Nabateans carved everything by hand using iron tools, striking stone hour after hour until entire palaces emerged from the steep red walls. Petra's beauty lies in its fusion of nature and craftsmanship. Sunlight changes the color of the stone from deep red to golden orange to soft pink, creating a living canvas. Ancient steps rise from the mountain. Niches hold forgotten deities. Massive tombs extend into the cliffs like portals to another era. Petra is not just carved in stone, it is carved in time. A testament to people who believed rock itself could become art, identity, and sanctuary. Number 3. The Appennine Colossus, Italy. Deep in the gardens of Tuscany stands a creature that looks as though it rose straight from myth, a gigantic stone monster frozen in mid-emergence from the earth. The Appennine Colossus, sculpted in the late 1500s, is a towering 10-meter giant who seems to be part titan, part mountain, and part guardian spirit of the land. Created by the artist Giambologna, this massive sculpture is not merely a figure placed in nature, it is fused with the landscape itself. Moss grows across its shoulders. Water flows from its hands and beard. Hidden chambers inside the body contain fountains, grottos, and once even mechanical devices that made the giant come alive. The Appennine Colossus appears to be rising from the soil, its posture suggesting effort, strain, and deep-rooted power. The sculptor intentionally blended rough natural rock with carved details to create a seamless transition between nature and imagination. Parts of the giant's body are raw stone. Others are intricately shaped muscles, veins, and facial contours. What makes this sculpture unreal is the way it redefines what a statue can be. It is not just an artwork, it is a landscape feature, a myth turned into stone, and a monument that interacts with water, weather, and foliage. Guests in past centuries described walking into chambers inside its head, hearing water flow through its veins, and watching fountains spurting from hidden valves. This is nature transformed into narrative, a sculpture so alive that it feels like it might stand and walk at any moment. Number 2. The Great Sphinx of Giza, Egypt. In the vast deserts of Egypt, near the pyramids of Giza, lies one of the most mysterious and monumental sculptures in human history, the Great Sphinx. Carved from a single massive limestone outcrop, the Sphinx stretches 73 meters long and 20 meters high, making it the largest monolithic statue on Earth. Part lion, part human, the Sphinx has the body of a crouching guardian and the face of a pharaoh. Most scholars believe it represents Khafra, builder of the second largest pyramid. But despite thousands of years of study, questions remain. When was it carved? What did it originally look like? And why was it built? One of its most unreal features is that it was carved downward into the bedrock rather than built upward. Workers removed millions of kilograms of stone to reveal the shape, chiseling the details with copper tools. The sculptors had to understand geology, weather patterns, and structural stability to ensure the monument wouldn't crack or collapse. Even more astonishing, the Sphinx may once have been painted in vivid colors, reds, yellows, and blues. It may also have worn an elaborate ceremonial beard, fragments of which have been found. The nose, famously missing, was likely broken off long after the statue was built. Over millennia, the Sphinx has been buried by sand repeatedly, sometimes with only its head visible. Entire excavation teams in the 1800s had to dig out the rest of the body, revealing paws, tail, and carved details hidden for centuries. The Great Sphinx remains a symbol of ancient engineering genius, and a riddle carved in stone. Number 1. Abu Simbel Temple, Egypt. Carved more than 3,000 years ago, deep into the cliffs of southern Egypt, stands one of the most majestic and mind-bending rock monuments the world has ever seen, the Temple of Abu Simbel. This is not just a sculpture. It is an entire sanctuary carved from solid rock, fronted by 4 colossal seated statues of Pharaoh Ramesses II, each towering more than 20 meters high. Approaching the temple feels like entering a realm built for gods. The statues stare forward with regal calm, their crowns rising above your line of sight, their hands resting on their knees with an authority that transcends time. The craftsmanship is astonishing. Every curve, every proportion, every hieroglyph was carved with unwavering precision. But the most unreal part of Abu Simbel is not the statues themselves, it is what happened in the 1960s. When the construction of the Aswan High Dam threatened to flood the entire site, Egypt and UNESCO launched a rescue operation unlike anything in archaeological history. Engineers cut the entire temple into massive blocks, each weighing up to 30 tons, and moved it 65 meters higher and 200 meters inland. Imagine slicing a 3,000-year-old mountain temple into pieces, then rebuilding it perfectly, without losing alignment, detail, or spirit. Even more incredible, the ancient designers had aligned the temple so that twice a year, on specific dates, sunlight would pierce the inner sanctuary and illuminate 3 of the 4 seated gods inside. After relocation, this alignment still works, almost exactly. Abu Simbel is a masterpiece of ancient carving and modern engineering brilliance. A monument to human determination across millennia, and without question, the most unreal rock sculpture in the world. These 7 rock sculptures are more than stone. They are legacies of ambition, belief, engineering, imagination, and resilience. From kings immortalized in cliffs to entire cities carved from mountains, each monument reveals the extraordinary heights humans can reach when they shape the world with their hands and dreams. If you enjoyed this journey through history carved in stone, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more incredible stories from around the world. Did you enjoy this video? Check out other clips of Amazing 7 and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified our latest videos.